Wave hello.
Hi. I'm looking at baby. Okay, so your time's today. I think you're Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Kitten Knittin. I am Kitten, and you can find me on Ravelry, Twitter, and Instagram as @kittens. That's not it. I'm not Kitten Space.
That's the second time you've done that.
I know, it's because, and both times I had not been drinking. I can only do this when I'm drinking.
So she's at Space Kitten 3000.
Yes.
On those handles, and I am Gallialvia. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Ravelry at Gallialvia. Again, no wine is involved today. And tell us a little bit about you. We've got a special guest today.
I'm Logan. I'm from Leon Alexander Yarns. So we're gonna Oklahoma up this episode of the podcast.
Yes, we are.
So.
Neo, made in Oklahoma.
We are at DFW Fiber Fest
2018 in Irving, Texas.
And we are so happy to have our guest here. It's a very special episode.
Very special.
Rainbow.
We have been so looking forward to this episode for weeks now. I know we've talked about it previously that we were going to have Logan on from Leon Alexander Yarns. And let's just dive right in here and start asking our questions. So
We do have some.
Leon Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you come up with that name?
Right, so my name is Logan. Again, it's not Leon, but I will usually answer to anything. But Leon Alexander is just a name that I always liked, like when I was younger. And you could probably relate to this, but I would name all my video game characters Leon Alexander.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
awesome.
So it was just like, it was a name, like, there's a lot to be said about a name. And so it was a name that made me feel good and like happy and powerful, and I was inspired, you know, in
Was
video
that
games.
like the name that was like, I wish my parents would have named me this because
Well,
it's awesome?
Kind of, and I kind of like on that, I said if I ever had a son, I would name him Leon Alexander, but I was always like, I don't want it to be like first and middle name, I want it to be like the whole name, and then I was like, well, that's just like a little too much, you know? So I was like, well, I'll just make a yarn baby instead. So, so we made that business, and I branded it Leon Alexander. The lion inspiration is from the Leon, so that kind of naturally happened. It was just kind of like a good starting point, but the name came first.
Yeah.
So.
And how long have you had your business?
It's been about, it'll be 2 years with this brand in August. So before then, I mean, we kind of were experimenting with some dyeing and stuff, but actually when I felt confident and comfortable, we branded it. So.
Excellent, excellent. So let me ask you, was it dyeing first or knitting first?
It was definitely knitting first. I mean, technically, actually, it was crochet first.
Ah.
So my grandma was a crocheter, and she taught me how to crochet when I was in 3rd grade. And I loved it because I was like, you know, as a kid, you're fascinated with what you can make and do and everything like that. But that's always natural. Like, whatever I can get my hands on, I wanted to do. And so she taught me, actually, it's kind of funny because, like, as a young individual, she taught me how to make doilies, and it was like kind of hard, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, like the tiny like little lace, you know, and the thread, like actual crochet thread. And so I made my 3rd grade teacher a doily.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
I bet she was just like, oh my gosh, you know.
I bet she loved it.
I don't know. I mean, I was like, that's kind of weird to give your teacher, but that's what I did. So
No, that's excellent.
So she taught me. I mean, so like really going forward, I knew how to like double crochet, chain, triple crochet because I did it in these little doilies. And so, but I kind of stopped and, you know, didn't have much interest in it until later. I started knitting. I taught myself how to knit because I wanted to knit those giant infinity scarves, but I didn't want to pay $30.
Right.
So, because they were like super in all those like bulky knits, you know, like in the bulky hats too.
Sure.
And so I taught myself how to knit on YouTube. And then I found a knitting group, actually, that I told you about before in Lewis City, and so, and that we still go to, and that it's great to have like a one-on-one kind of some experience there. And so through the experience of others and through YouTube, taught myself to knit. So.
And how long have you been knitting? How long ago was that?
It's about 6 years or 7 years.
Yeah.
So, I think with anything, like sometimes you take breaks and everything, but I went on vacation and I had stopped at some yarn stores probably maybe 4 years ago, and it like rekindled that for me. So.
And that's how it was, because I had learned how to knit many years ago, but when Gal started getting into it, it rekindled my
excitement.
Interest in it. And I was like, oh, I really want to create, and I have a friend to do that with.
Yeah.
And to share that experience with.
Yeah. So it's been fun for us to do that together.
Yeah, I think kind of like what we were talking about too earlier. It's like this whole festival is just about experience and about knowledge and sharing that with others, and it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah,
you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. The knitting community has just been, above and beyond my wildest dreams. Everybody is so keen to share their knowledge.
Yeah.
I had somebody teaching me how to spindle yesterday. Kitten was asking
about sock heels and stuff like that, and everybody just wants to share their knowledge. And this is the first fiber festival we've gone to, so I didn't really know what to expect beyond shopping and things like that, and it's been great.
And you did take some classes too, right?
Or
you're going to, or
yes, well, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm signed up for a class I will not be attending. That's another story.
Okay.
She already learned how to do it before the
class.
That's right.
I learned how to brioche, and I kind of forgot to look into class supplies, so I don't have any class supplies.
So I'd
have to buy my class supplies, and that's not the way I want to spend my money right now.
There's too much yarn.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna, bite the bullet, and I'm out the registration fee, which is fine. I feel it goes to a wonderful cause.
And she got a really cool bag.
Got a really cool bag from it.
So,
but yeah, no, I'm not going to the class. I feel like such a loser for not going to the class, you guys. But that's not where I want to spend my money. So.
No, I get that.
So, no.
Well, and there was some, and I was going to take the brioche class, but by the time I didn't register as soon as she did, and by the time I did, it was sold out.
Oh, yeah.
But now I know that those classes sell out pretty quickly.
Oh, they
so
do.
You need to get right on it if there's one that you want to take.
Yeah, and they always, will tell you, the class list comes out next week, so,
Look,
you almost have to set a reminder, you know, just so that you know when to go and get it.
Exactly. So. Well, and we've kind of learned through this process. We were very ill prepared. I feel there were resources out there that we didn't utilize to its fullest, and we know better for next year.
Right.
First year, it's okay. We're not going to beat ourselves up over it.
Yeah.
But there's a whole community here that we didn't get to explore.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and we didn't even know about they do a stitch marker swap here, which has been really, really fun.
Yeah.
But we found out
because
from
of your
tweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not your tweet, but your Instagram.
Yeah.
And so then we texted and we're like, so there's a stitch marker swap.
So hurry up and make some stitch markers.
Yeah, and next year we're making a lot more because I ran out yesterday.
First day, it's not even the busiest day, and we ran out yesterday.
Yeah, because we were swapping with everyone.
Yeah.
Anybody.
We have some at our booth, so we put our friend Lydia in charge of that, and so she's our ambassador for the stitch markers. So.
And they're so cute.
We made little lion ones for Alexander. So
cute.
So what got you into dyeing?
I have kind of an art background too, and I did a lot of photography and painting, and so mixing colors is something that is natural. Yeah, exactly. And so it was really this there was this big boom in hand-dyed yarns though, and so knitting with those for the first time, I know I can remember the first skein of hand-dyed yarn that I knit with, and it was just this magical, mind-blowing experience.
It just changed your whole
your whole aesthetic.
Yeah,
it's just you start to see color differently and the things that you can do with the overlaying. So my artistic brain was already just going full force. We can do this.
Yeah,
and so. And it's funny because I know a lot of people they start dyeing solids, but no, I was just let's put all these colors on top of each other and see what happens. So that's kind of was my starting out point.
So have you experimented with different dye methods?
A little bit. Starting out, I've ruined a lot of yarn. So
yeah,
it's not all pretty and wonderful.
Oh sure.
So.
I learned that because some of the skeins I dyed, I was like...
She says this, but I feel like hers were gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, and
it's subjective. It is. It's totally subjective.
And it wasn't what I was going for. It didn't turn out like I wanted, so I was already disappointed because I was like, well, this is not what I wanted at all.
But I think that's like with any artist, like trying to take this that's in your mind and put it out is what's always frustrating because it's never exactly how you want.
Exactly.
So like trying to get close enough to that, and I think even as knitters, we have this vision like of the project that we're trying to do. And so I guess that's something I'm constantly working on, trying to take the initial inspiration and put it down into yarn.
Right.
So
you used a good buzzword there, inspiration. Where do you get yours from?
I mean, it kind of comes from different places, and it's almost not literal. Like, it's kind of funny the way that you're inspired as an artist, and I mean, this goes all across the board. But sometimes we'll watch movies, and I won't even realize it, but the colors in that film will like influence my collection.
Sure.
So, like for instance, we watched on Netflix, and if you haven't seen this, it's like one of my favorite movies now. But it's called Monster in Paris, and it's a little animated film, and it's like adorable and wonderful. It was on Netflix. I'm sure it's like you can find it, but it's this little film about like this science experiment, and somehow this flea like he grows into this giant like monster, and so like he's running around Paris, but the colors in this film are so beautiful, and like there's all these shades of like pink and purple. Well, around that time, I don't know why it stuck with me. Like I said, it was subliminal almost, and so I started working on that Paris collection that I have. And so after I looked at it and we watched the movie again, it was like I could see
that's
where all of that came from. So it wasn't necessarily like a conscious thought, but it was something that had stuck with me. So, but we do draw a lot of inspiration and influence from cultures, different cultures and things like that.
I can definitely see that. Yeah.
We, obviously we love the saturation and the bright colors, so we kind of tend to look towards that. But, and I know like, some dyers in the process that they work, they are inspired by pictures. It's like inspiration images. We don't necessarily do that. So we also have our collections that we do. We try to release our collections. And even though we name something, like we have our shark bait colorway. And that one is kind of more literal because it has the blue and the red for the shark attack, which is real fun.
Yeah.
But we have some that are kind of like a abstract concept. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be so literal.
Sure.
Yeah. And so that's something we try to do as well, and I feel like that maybe is kind of the artistic side.
So do you come up with your name first and then try to, or is it?
It's like it can be both, but usually it's the color.
Yeah, the color that inspires them.
Yeah. So like we've been working on some new stuff for DFW just to kind of have some new colors, but there's one color in particular, and it's called Hangover, and everyone loves it, and they get a kick out of it because it's funny and cute, But the color came first, and honestly, when I dyed it, it was kind of like, I don't know, It's like, but it's got like this dark blue, almost gray tone to it, and then it has like the bright green speckle and a bright pink speckle.
That's fun.
And so I'm like, well, if you put those together, it's kind of like a hangover. So, and everyone has said that, it feels like a hangover.
Well, the first thing I do when I find a color I like is immediately look at the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure lots of people do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it has like a cute or clever, funny name, I will probably more likely buy it than if it was just like ocean blue.
Right. And it's something, when we talked about it though, I mean, like there's something in a name. Like you identify with that name. It means something to you. So that is a lot of fun. Like, it's a lot of fun for us to do that and kind of come up with.
And your colors are so fun that it's quite obvious they're going to have some fun names.
Well,
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean like I said, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how did you decide? Because I know you said you experimented a little bit on your different dye methods. How do you have one dye method that you use? We do.
I mean, primarily we do. We've kind of just, with anything, you keep growing your skill, keep growing your craft, and try to experiment. But there is, one method that we do. So our skeins do have as you could probably see, a style to them.
Sure.
So they do look like our brand, and that's something I've really worked hard on. To make sure that it is like, oh yeah, that's a Leon Alexander.
You can tell immediately.
Exactly.
And I think you've accomplished that. I really do think so.
But yeah, like I said, we use primarily one method. I also do that because I want them to knit up similarly, because I want people to be able to take colors and combine them. And I don't want people to be scared of color. That's our other thing, you know,
Right.
like embrace the color. So that way it's easier to make a cohesive project, and you don't have to have that fear as well.
So you do colors on multiple bases.
We do. We do mainly, of course, sock. You know, fingering.
Yeah.
You know, everybody loves fingering, but we have a really great fingering base. It's a 85 merino, 15 nylon, so it's a softer nylon based fingering yarn. We also have a great, really plump worsted. It's almost like a worsted Aran, but it's a super nice base. You know, we have a DK too, but we focus mainly on fingering.
Yeah.
So.
It seems like that's what most people.
Yeah,
but when you use worsted, it knits up so fast. It's so nice.
Oh yeah, it's great. And it actually, I mean, worsted in like a hand dye is really cool because you get different effects. You know, you don't get the detail that you do with the fingering, but you still get some really nice color overlay.
Yeah.
So we mostly do, you know, merino wool. We've done some different breeds. We've done some Polworth, and it's interesting how the different fibers react to dye. You know, natural dyeing is a whole nother animal that we're not really into. So
and I don't think you would get the same effects, because your yarn is so vivid and so saturated. You don't really see that with natural dyeing.
That's something too. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, just because you do one process doesn't mean it's going to translate well into another. And so I think we're real comfortable. You know, we've created something that we're really proud of. So.
Yeah. Well, and you should be.
Now, do you knit, when you knit things for yourself, do you use your own yarn?
I do, but we have quite a few sample knitters that will work for us and stuff. So it's great. And I always say, like, man, I've just been knitting in my own yarn. And everyone's like, yeah, Logan, that must be so terrible, you know.
Terrible to have all these beautiful colors to deal with.
But I have a stash that is ridiculous, you know, and I love to support, you know, other dyers in the community. And so I have just things I pick up, and I have all this. It's just almost as an inspiration, you know, because I have my stash. It's actually in our studio, and it's up on shelves, and so it's like up high.
Oh, yeah.
And so I can see it all the time, so you just see all this color. And so it's great to be surrounded by that. But like, I don't have it with me, of course, but right now I'm doing the full Oracle shawl.
Oh yeah.
And I'm doing it. I am using a solid that I did just because I had it laying around.
Sure.
We don't really do solids, you know, so it was just laying around.
Yeah.
But I'm using Yarn Carnival, and she's here at DFW, and I'm doing a skein from Moon Tower Dyeworks. She's one of my really good friends. She just started dyeing, and it's a great speckle. It's super fun. So that's great. I'm really happy to be able to use other indie dyers as well.
And support that community. Now, what's your favorite thing to knit? Like, are you a shawl knitter?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't really do socks. I mean, I can, you know, I can say, like, I understand gusset construction and toe up and all that. And it's just not my thing. Yeah. So, and when you have a size 13 foot, you know.
Oh no.
That's a lot of socks.
That is a lot of socks. Because I have a bigger foot than Gal does, and I was like, man, I wish my foot was the size of hers. It's a lot less stockinette.
It is. It's just a lot. Yeah. So.
In fairness, though, whenever I'm knitting sweaters, I think the same thing about you. Oh my gosh, I wish I was tiny, so I didn't have to like sit here and knit all
the tiny, not tiny. So.
Well, I started thinking that I really need to start because I too like to knit shawls. It's just that you get to do so much. I love all the different techniques you can do with shawls,
definitely.
And a lot of times you can use one skein of really pretty fingering, and I like to knit lace too.
I do too.
But I don't wear shawls. And I'm like, I'm really going to have to start wearing some shawls.
But I'll tell you what, I mean, something that we do is, and I like shawls just because of the challenge.
Sure.
Because like almost like the art of knitting is you've got all that lace, you've got all that construction, you got so many different options, and like I immediately think of like Romy Hill and just like her amazing like lace work, you know. And it's like that's a skill, and that's something like it's a challenge. It's, you know, great to look forward to. But we've been putting shawls up in our windows, and so just kind of as like decoration. So that's what I do with mine. Yeah. So, or you know, I mean, we have them for samples too, but I don't necessarily wear them either. Yeah. So.
Well, I loved how I had in my queue, actually, I have the is it Prayers for Rain? Is that what it's called? Waiting for Rain.
Yeah.
Prayers for Rain is a Cure song. That's where I got that from. So it's on my queue to knit, and then in your booth, you had it in 2 different.
Right. We have it in a 2-tone.
It didn't even occur to me. I was just going to use like the blue that Gal did, and that she gave to me, and I was like, oh, I could do like a speckled with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just loved that because I was just thinking, okay, solid, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm like, oh, I love that speckled that you have in your booth. Like, it's so pretty.
But that's like the awesome thing about knitting too. It's like, as a knitter, you have the creative energy to do what you want to do.
Right. You have that power to create what you want.
And I think like as a dyer, that's what's cool is that I can supply that for people, you know, and I can't take credit for that shawl. I didn't knit it, but we had a test knitter, her name is Rachel. Hi, Rachel, in Arkansas, and she was just like, I've got this idea, I want to do it, and I was like, yeah, I would love for you to do that. So.
Yeah. I bet you love seeing what people do with your yarn.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
I can imagine that would be really fun as a dyer to see what people do.
It is just because like, naturally I'm going to think about shawls, but other people might think like hats or brioche or, you know. You pick up a skein and you've got an idea.
Yeah. And it serves as more inspiration, I can imagine, on other things you could, not just knit, but other ways you could dye. And
definitely.
Like that. Yeah, that's cool.
So, you're here at DFW, Fiberfest, and you're selling here. How do people find your yarns? Do you go to different fests? Do you sell in stores?
We kind of do a combination, and one thing we really love to do is to do trunk shows because they're just really personal. Like you get that moment to really interact with everybody, and so you get to know people, and that's what's great about the knitting community too. So we do a lot in Texas. We do a lot in Arkansas. Work closely with a lot of shops, and so we have some upcoming events and stuff, and so I can give you the rundown there.
Yeah,
so that way, if anybody's watching, and if you're in the area, you can check this out. So, but the next thing we're doing is April 21st, doing a trunk show at the Sated Sheep in Dripping Springs, Texas, and that is actually, it's kind of cool. It's on Local Yarn Store Day, and so
I didn't know there was one of those. How neat!
Yeah, so we are making a special color for Local Yarn Store Day, kind of like Record Store Day.
Yep.
You know, they have special edition records.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that. I know Allison, the shop owner, really well, and so it's like that would be super fun to do. So we're excited about that. We're bringing a lot of DK for that, so we can kind of do like a mix and match fade. People can pick out some colors. So we're doing that. We're actually doing, we work really closely with the shop in Arkansas and Pawley, and in May we're doing kind of like a dyeing class. So we're still working out the details on that, but that should be really cool, kind of some insight to the process for fans and people. So we're doing another show in Kansas in June 1st and June 2nd. It is at Studio Knitting and Needlepoint. It's in Overland Park, which is right outside of Kansas City. We're excited about that. It's the first time we'll be going there. Big show we're doing Stitches and Stitches Midwest, in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Well, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, and it'll be great. We're going to go to Chicago and live it up and eat lots of pizza.
I mean, and what a great place to be in Chicago. I mean, so awesome.
So we're doing that. That is the 2nd through the 5th, and then we will be back in Texas at West 7th Wool, who's also a vendor here, on the 18th. We're doing that. We're doing a special color there for the shop, so it'll be like a shop exclusive color. Working with Carissa Browning, a DFW designer, and so that should be a lot of fun.
Oh, I didn't realize Carissa Browning was a DFW.
Yeah, she's here. So,
okay.
Yeah, they have a little group. It's like called the DFW Designers, and it's local designers. So, and they release patterns.
Here?
She is, and she'll
I
actually.
felt like I saw her just walking around.
Yeah, and I know she's here. I mean, I know she was yesterday volunteering for sure, but she's going to hang out with us today, and I know this will be after the recording, but she's going to kind of hang out with us and get to talk to people about her designing. And she worked on a shawl with us recently. Her most recent one is called Stone Feather, and so It was really cool.
And she's the one that designed the Wonder Woman shawl.
Yeah.
And I jokingly was like, I should have brought it so she could fix my mistakes for me and get me back on track.
And I said that she definitely would. I mean, she's super nice and caring, so she would have.
And the one the one in August is for the yarn crawl, right?
Right.
Which we're going to try to do.
Yes, and so I mean that's another DFW event if you're in the area or local. They have, DFW is obviously the big one, and then the yarn crawl is in August. So.
And how long does it take you to prepare for a trunk show or for Fiber Fest?
Well, and I mean that's kind of something to talk about too. Like our dyeing is actually a really complicated process. Which I mean, if you look at the colors, maybe you can see that.
Sure.
So we don't just dunk it and it's done. So.
It's a step.
Oh yeah,
several
definitely.
steps.
Usually, I mean, most of the colors are 3 steps, and so we do a lot of speckling. And speckling, if you do it correctly, you have to set that for a long period of time. So we try to make sure that our yarns don't bleed. So some colors do take a really long time. So, but we usually start dyeing probably about a month or 2 months in advance, just to start cranking that out. So try to get bigger pots, do lots of 10 instead of 5 or 2. Or
yeah, I can imagine that is a lot of time.
It is, and I have to have like a schedule.
Yeah,
sure.
So how many skeins do you usually bring with you?
Well, I mean, for here we brought about 350. We're gonna double that, or more for stitches,
Sure.
and it just kind of depends,
on the size of the event,
right?
And if you've been there before,
exactly.
And your sales from previously.
We don't bring quite that much to a trunk show. Usually, we one thing we also try to do is we don't try to bring so many colors. We try to keep it because it can be overwhelming.
Sure.
I mean, the whole event itself can be overwhelming.
Oh my gosh.
And so we don't want you to come in and be like, I don't know what I want to buy. They're all great or they're all terrible,
Right. No, I doubt that.
No.
But, we try to keep it so that you can kind of pinpoint something. I mean, naturally you're drawn to certain colors,
So you're talking about going to Kansas, to Texas, to Arkansas. What's kind of your travel radius for your shows?
We usually, we try to stay in the area. Oklahoma's really, we're lucky, because it's centrally located pretty much, So, but we will expand. We're working on some stuff in Colorado. We're trying to kind of look at Louisiana a little bit. But typically it's like 8 to 10 hours. I mean, anything more you have to consider travel time and hotels and
Yeah.
So, but we're working on some things like that. Some further shows that what we do is we try to do like a wholesale purchase and we kick it off with a trunk show and,
that's a good idea.
and things like that.
So with you being a vendor here, have you been able to do any shopping of your own?
I have.
Yeah.
So, of course,
Yeah.
I can definitely show you what I've got.
I want to see your acquisitions.
This is day 2, so I bought a little bit on day 1, but it's at the Airbnb. So,
Sure.
So I don't have that.
Now, okay, I have a question. Do you buy without having anything in mind, or do you usually have something in mind and then you buy for that?
It's like, I don't know, I think I'm kind of like a rebel, I guess, because I just buy based on like my gut initial, like I love that.
That's how she is
like,
too.
I love that, I need that.
That's how I do it.
I have to have a plan in place first,
No.
and then I'm like, okay, I need this much.
See, there's so much in life that is like so calculated and planned. It's like, I need knitting to be that
Free.
part. Yeah, where you can
free
just
form.
pick and choose. And,
Well, okay, so I used to do this with my shoes all the time. I would see shoes that I was like, I must have these shoes. And then I would buy the outfits to match the shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have an outfit for these shoes. But darn it, I wanted the shoes. So I kind of do that with yarn too.
Yeah, totally.
It's, kind of like when we were talking earlier, and I'll show you guys this a bit later. I bought some of his yarn. Oh my God. But I had to think last night, do I have something that I can make with this yarn? Because I didn't have a project in mind, but I wanted the yarn.
Yeah.
So from there, I kind of developed an idea of, well, I kind of want to do a Find Your Fade, so maybe I can do something with his yarn for the Find Your Fade. So today I came and I started kind of building on a Find Your Fade, and this man's yarn is part of it because I wanted that poolside so much.
Yeah.
So
she had been
much.
talking about poolside.
I've been talking about poolside since I saw it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Here's a hint. It matches something in appearance. So,
Yes.
which you'll see later.
And I
You'll see
noticed
later.
when we were were at your booth, you only had one skein left.
Yeah.
So it was very popular.
And I'm sure it'll be gone by the time we go back.
Oh,
I'm sure it will.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I mean, blues are definitely popular, you know. So.
And I love, what's the middle trunk?
It's
the green.
That is, I think it's the Koi collection.
Yeah.
It's got like the yellows and the pinks
right.
and the green.
Yeah, the green that's in that one. Oh, I love that one too.
Yeah. And it's
his
bright.
bright colors.
It's bright.
His bright colors. I mean, go figure. I like bright. We work well together because she likes the more neutral and toned down, and I like the bright.
And I mean, it's funny though because like I dye all these bright colors, but then I love to knit like with like browns, and like grays, and you know, and so it's almost like I'm a hypocrite because I can understand why people want those colors, you know, but I don't dye those colors. So.
Yeah. And I get why people. I mean, this is fairly neutral for me, I feel, but yeah. So show us your goodies. I want to see your goodies.
I know everybody always wants to see that. So I, like I said, I bought a couple of things yesterday. I don't have them with me. Something that's cool about these events, if you've never been, is that a lot of vendors will do like a show exclusive color, and we did one too. It was really fun. We actually did bats as well, which
I will show you later because I bought one of his bats.
So she did get the bat. She don't have the color to show, but it's on Instagram and everything, so which will be cool. I want to see that yarn too.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a spinner, but you know.
It's fun to see what comes out.
I'm not either, but I'm working on it.
So I actually had the pleasure of meeting Diane from Suburban Stitcher.
Is that berry or blue?
This
bird
is Ladybird.
Ladybird,
and this is her show exclusive.
I bought some from her.
Oh,
today.
you did.
I did.
You did. I was gonna get the mini, and then I was like, no, it's a show exclusive. I need the full skein. So
I love that Ladybird.
Really
it is, yeah, and they actually even have the project bags. I think that match. They're like blue bonnets or something, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, but I was actually deciding between, and like I said, this is Ladybird. This is on her DK base, and so it is 115 grams, 250 yards. It is 100% superwash merino. It is so great. It's great because it's 115 yards for DK, which is just excellent. So this is the other one there.
What's that one called?
This one is called March Hare.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to decide between this one and something else, and something that she said too was like, well, look at kind of like what yarn you dye and see something maybe if you got something different. Because obviously if you can dye it, you know, you would just use your own. And so this one is kind of like a little bit softer than what I dye, and so I got that. But I was just naturally drawn to this.
Those would look really good together. So do you think you're going to use them together?
That's why I had to get the full skein.
Okay.
So, and I don't usually do this, you know, I usually am a rebel, but I try to like limit it, like, okay, need to buy DK, I have too much fingering, you know. But I was thinking that these would be great together for brioche. So, because you've got the dark, and then you've got the light, and you've got the speckles, and this one has the green, and so that's what kind of I was thinking for that. So
yeah, I really like that.
That's my
combo.
loose plan.
Yeah.
So, we also, I have been working on a little scrap blanket, and it's not a crochet one. It's actually the zigzag scarf. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I just repeated it to make it, you know, blanket length on size 60, you know, inch cord. And so it's like this kind of like the chevron where you alternate rows with colors. And originally I was just putting my yarn in it because I wanted it to be bright, but I found all of these, all of these bright colors.
I love the minis, and I never know what I would do with them. She bought 3 minis yesterday, and I bought one, and then I was like, okay, if I'm going to do anything, I have to like buy more minis because one's not going to do anything.
And sometimes it's just kind of fun. Like, I mean, I tell people too, like, you could do color work with the mini. You know, even something like crazy like this, you could do a solid gray and have this running through it as a contrast or something.
Yeah, because I bought 3 minis yesterday, and I bought them because I thought they were gorgeous.
Yeah, I was
not
looking
because
through,
I had anything in mind.
I was looking through the bin, and she was like, grab that one for me. That one for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. As I was going through it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of funny because I even almost made like a little fade with these, you know, naturally.
Yeah.
So.
Now, who's that by?
This is Gritty Knits. I don't know too much about them, but these are great. They're super vibrant.
They're really cute.
Yeah, and they had you could do so many, you could make a bundle basically, which is what I did. So, but I think I'm going to put these in my blanket, and I think they're 20 grams. 20 grams, 92 yards, 75-25 blend, so that's a soft blend.
I love those. They had, I can't remember what seller it was. Well, I don't remember the name, but she had a Harry Potter mini set. The Diagon
I got
Alley,
Jose
like,
6 and 7 fiber, I think. She did a full set of colors.
Nice.
And they're like wonderful. She has one called Luna's Shoes. And so it's like lavender and like, it's so nice. It's
so cute.
Yeah, and it's in worsted too. I got it in the worsteds. So I also got to meet Chasing Rabbits Fiber Company, and they are from Amarillo, and so they're not too far from us.
Yeah.
And so it was really great to meet her because on Instagram, like you see people and you're like, you're so and so, and you're so and so, and you can put a face with it, you know.
So I want you to actually hold that up again because there are some major colors going in here.
Yeah.
So there's like a blue and an orange and like
a lilac color,
like a pinky lilac. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And so like I said, I always try and find stuff that I don't naturally dye. You know. And so this one is called "It's Only a Dream" on their fern base, which is a 4-ply fingering, which is the 8515. So it's real similar to the base that I use. So.
When I saw that, I thought the name was fern and not the base, and I was like, "Now, how did that come up?"
That's an exotic fern.
We don't have those ferns.
We don't have those in Oklahoma. Looks more like a dust bowl or something. So.
Now, do you have plans for that, or it just spoke to you?
No, I don't. I don't have plans for this, but like I said, I try and buy like DK because I have too much fingering, but you can always use fingering. So those are my little stash, acquisitions today. Yesterday I got Yarn Carnival's exclusive color.
I saw that. It was beautiful.
And I got it on the yak base.
Nice.
So, and I said yesterday, I was like, I've only bought one skinny yarn.
Was it kind of a reddish?
It's like a coppery kind of undertone. It's like a variegated with an over dye.
Okay.
And Anna's great of Yarn Carnival, and she was telling me about it, that they had a braid to scarf competition here at DFW, and so they asked her to specifically dye fiber for it, and so she was inspired by that, and so for the team, and she was inspired by that, so she named it Amazonian. And the whole thing with West 7th is they had a Wonder Woman team and all this, and so it was kind of on that theme. But it's an excellent color.
It looked gorgeous on your picture.
I also got Canon hand dyed had some new enamel pens, and maybe I'll send you guys some pictures. You could insert them. So
I have one of those.
Yes.
I got the same one that he got because
I got the one with all the stuff
she knitted.
Yeah. I got that one, and then I got the one with the girl with the stuff in her hand.
I got that.
She got
that.
that.
Well then, good. See, they got it covered. So.
Well, and you should just check out his Instagram anyway because it's lovely, and you can see all these things that we're talking about, and then you can see all of his beautiful yarns.
On that note, where do people find you?
So we do have a website. We don't really do Etsy. We did at first, but now we, direct everything to our website. We have all our colors on there. It's easy to see.
And people can order online from you?
Typically, yes. If we're not in show mode, like right now we're in show mode, so the shop's kind of limited and shut down. So, but we do have. We usually just say like if there's something you're looking for specifically, just message. You can message directly on there. We're also on Instagram. At Leon Alexander Yarns, and then we're also on Facebook at Leon Alexander Yarns. So,
and is your website leonalexander.com or
it's leonalexanderyarns.com.
Okay,
so everything
we'll
is Leon Alexander Yarns.
Okay.
All together.
We will link his website and then also put all of his contact information below for you.
Absolutely. So we'll have that in show notes for everybody.
I would say we're most active on Instagram. So
it's my favorite platform.
Yeah, I think for yarn it's just like
for knitters that's just the way to go.
We're also on Ravelry, but I'm not the best.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm Leon Alexander there.
Okay.
So we have a group and everything, but it's not super active. So
Okay.
Not super active yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it there, right? Right, everybody.
Right.
Do it.
So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us. You are wonderful, just like your yarns are. And it's been really fun, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to sit with us.
Well, it's good. It's been a nice little
break.
Yeah.
Yeah, because It's bustling out there. He's done really well this weekend.
Yeah.
So we're happy to hear.
Yay. Go Oklahoma.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you. We'll probably talk about our acquisitions and stuff later.
Yeah.
When we get them all together.
So keep watching. We're
Yes,
not done yet.
This is not the end. Bye for now.
Bye.
We're back.
Hey everyone.
We are back at our lovely hotel room after an afternoon and morning of shopping.
Yep.
And talking with Leon Alexander, which I hope you enjoyed. He is fantastic, nice person, and awesome yarn.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you can, definitely check him out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we're back at the hotel room. We're just chilling out, and we want to show you some of the stuff that we got. And there's a lot.
There is.
So
we got a haul. We told you.
Yeah,
we told you.
It's gonna be, this episode's obviously gonna be a little bit different. We're not gonna really talk about whips or FOs this time around. Our acquisitions are gonna probably take up most of the time.
Yeah.
But we'll get back to all of that next episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
which will be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes. We're gonna be back on our 2-week schedule.
Yeah.
So we hope that you enjoy hauls, because we have some fun stuff to show you.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Well, how do you want to do this? Do you want to take turns, or do we want to show all of our stuff at one time? We didn't really discuss this beforehand.
We'll take turns.
Okay.
We'll take turns. I mean, some of it I'm going to show like at the same time.
Sure. Well, I will start with this because it's the closest thing to me, and we each got one. It is a stemless wine glass because we are fans of wine. And
it is by Knit Baah Purl Ink.
Yes. And mine says sheep-faced, and I don't, the glare is probably pretty bad.
Mine says 3 sheeps to the wind, and there are like 3 little sheepies.
And this one, there's a little sheepy and a wine glass, and then a little ball of yarn in the wine glass.
3 sheeps to the wind.
Yeah, we thought those were really, really cute. She had one other one, but I can't remember what it said because we liked these the best.
These were our favorites.
And she also had t-shirts and tote bags and like greeting cards and stuff like that with her little lamb illustrations on them. And, you know, little kind of tongue-in-cheek sayings.
She had one that said sheep wrecked, and it was a bunch of sheep laying, like, they had wrecked their wheelbarrows of yarn, and it was just so cute. And then they had another one that was, like, sheep's lying on their back, and it says lay flat to dry.
And it was little feet are up in the air. It was really cute. So cute. And her items were really affordable as well.
Yeah.
So I think those wine glasses were only $10 a peach. A peach.
A peach. $10 a peach.
A piece. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we each got one of those. We thought those would be fun and fitting for our nights together. Yeah. Or our days. Who knows? Let's see. One of the things I wanted, and I think I mentioned this, how I wanted to make the Second Avenue shawl. And I already had this Madeline Tosh that has all these speckled colors in it. And so I brought this with me to try to match up with some of that. I already have a navy that I'm going to pair with it. But then, you know, this looks more mustardy in this light than
in this light it does, yeah.
So I got this skein from Suburban Stitcher. And they do have an Etsy shop because I looked at their Etsy shop beforehand. And the color is Ballard, and it's 100% merino, 438 yards, fingering weight. And actually, in this light, it's looking more yellow than it did, because it kind of looked more olivey green. But that's fine because I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do a mustard or a more green-toned yellow. So it works either way. Yeah. So, but I think it'll be really pretty with this and a navy, and then I have another one too. I actually need 5 colors altogether. I have 4 so far.
Are you going to show them? Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go on to my next one then. This will be one of my other colors. It's beautiful. It's from 100 Ravens, and this is 70% merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon fingering. And it's in the color Carmen de Bohème.
Bohème?
Yeah. So, beautiful purple color. And I wanted to, I spent most of my money today because I was just kind of taking things in yesterday. And I went to their booth and I really wanted to buy something from them because I liked their style and I liked their logo. It reminds me of Supernatural for some reason. But, so I went back today and I was like, I'm going to find, because I had bought this, and so I was like, I want a purple. So that, and then navy, yeah, Madeline Tosh tag is, how about I do that?
There we go.
So then there's the navy that I didn't bring, it's just Knit Pick Stroll Fingering navy. And then I'll need one other color. So I'm really, really excited. And I don't really need the other color to start on it.
Yeah.
So I can, you know, decide when to do that later on. So, yeah, these are really pretty. And I kind of wanted to try and get yarns from different dyers for that wrap. And so I did. I got 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, exciting.
Yay.
Let's show us one of your goodies.
Okay, so
I know what to pick.
So there was a couple of different sellers that were selling Hedgehog Fibres, which I love. I love their colors. And I particularly loved this Bollywood. And I apologize. We're using natural light here in the hotel room, so some of our colors are getting blown out. Mm-hmm. But this is Bollywood. It is on their sock yarn, right? Yeah, their sock yarn. And it's 90% superwash merino and 10% nylon. And it just reminds me of a goldfish, honestly. Like a koi.
Yep.
And so it makes me think of Goldfish Pond. So I just wanted it. I have nothing in mind for it at this point. I just wanted it. So
it's really, really pretty, and she had picked it up yesterday, or she saw it yesterday, and then she was still thinking about it this morning. So I feel like that's a pretty good indicator when you're still thinking about how much you liked something the next day that you get it.
Yeah. So
and they did have a lot of Hedgehog fibers, which is not very.
You don't see that a lot in our area.
No, you don't. I think for a while my local yarn store carried a few skeins, but I don't think they probably sold them. And, you know, we only have like 3 local yarn stores, and I'm talking local as in within an hour of us.
Yeah, there's 4.
Oh, okay.
There's 4. We tend to go to 3 of them, I think is what we're thinking.
Oh, yes.
But regardless, 4 in our area, none of them carry them. So this is kind of like, for me. It's like kind of like my holy grail, except, I don't know. But I just love their colors, and I follow them, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, but their colors are gorgeous. So this is mine. What else did you get?
I got non-fiber related, but it was actually the first thing I purchased, and I was really, really excited. I got Making Magazine, volume number 3, Dots. I've seen this magazine on several different, or a couple different YouTube podcasts that I watch. And if you don't know about it, I think they're about to put out their 6th issue. It comes out twice a year. And it's more like a small book. It's technically a magazine, but it's pretty chunky. It's very nicely published. And it is all about different crafting. There's, let's see, there's weaving, and there's recipes, there's dyeing, there's sewing. Here's some like flower pressing stuff, and then there's knit and crochet patterns, which of course is what I really wanted it for. And something I'm currently working on is actually out of volume 1, but I got the pattern from Ravelry. But, like, look at these socks. They're so cute. They're so pretty.
They're like little, they're not gold in this, but they remind me of like little gold coins from like Mario or something like that.
But yeah, so it has quite a bit of patterns. It's not a cheap publication. One issue is $24. To get it shipped to me, it would be $24 plus $9 shipping and handling, which I didn't want to pay. It's published in Maine. It's a bit heavy, I guess. But I just was walking by a booth and they had them like sitting up high on a rack, and so I got really excited. And there's already like 2 things that I want to knit, and I've only just like kind of flipped through it. Yeah, so really excited about this. I really just think it's a really pretty publication. Like, look at this cute wrap. It kind of has like polka dots in it. It's so cute. So they had issues 2, 3, and 4. I did want 1, but that's fine. So yeah, that was my first purchase that I got, which is funny that my first purchase wasn't yarn.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I was gun shy though. I really didn't. I felt like once I started spending, I would not stop.
So
and
that's kind of what happened.
It is. That's what happened today.
That is kind of what happened. I mean, but I know we said it earlier in the podcast, but you walk in and the convention floor is full of vendors, and they've got like a nice little sit and stitch kind of place for people to kind of sit down and pull out their knitting and everything. But it is so overwhelming with the number of vendors and all of the colors of yarn, all of the varieties of yarn. It was hard to pick first day what you really wanted. So we just kind of really took our time on the first day on Friday to go through the vendors, look and see what all was available, and that way we could make more decisions today. Kind of like I was talking about, the Hedgehog Fibres. I saw it yesterday, but I didn't purchase it till today. Gave me some time to kind of ruminate, because obviously you want to spend all the money on all of the yarn, but you can't.
We don't have a money tree.
We
haven't been able to get one to grow yet.
No.
So we had to I think we both had, if not an actual list, I had an actual list, but a mental list of things that we kind of wanted to look for while we were here. And I mostly stuck to that list, but I knew that I would find things just here and there that I just liked, and that did happen.
So what was on your mental list? Let's talk about that. That way they can compare what was on our list versus what we purchased.
Sure. I wanted to get self-striping sock yarn. That was one of the main things I wanted to get, was self-striping sock yarn. I also wanted to get some lace weight yarn. No more specific than that. I had a specific project in mind for it. I was also on the lookout to get a couple colors of sport weight yarn to go with some sport weight that I already have, probably for the Rose Cardigan by Andrea Makery. But I was unsure. I was kind of on the fence on that because it's a little daunting. I haven't purchased the pattern, but she's really good about listing on her Ravelry page for the pattern what techniques are going to be used, and there were a lot of techniques that I wasn't sure I wanted to try to conquer right now. So that was kind of on my list, but I was still deciding if that's what I wanted to do or not. And I think that, and then yarn for Second Avenue Shawl.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was it. I feel like I did a pretty good job by getting what was on my list.
You did.
So did you have a mental list?
I had a bit of a mental list. I wanted to get a sock ruler since we're working on our socks, which, by the way, I think we're going to, we didn't really talk about this, extend it through the end of the month, end of April. So we're going to extend that through the end of April. Kitten has finished one of hers. I am working towards the toe of, I've turned the heel, working towards the toe of my first sock. So I have gotten some done, but I was kind of, I don't know, I was kind of weird about wanting to measure. So I really wanted to get a sock gauge before I really delved into the foot, because I don't know, I just wanted to fit. So
I measured by, well, I physically measured with a tape measure, but then I also tried on a lot, and trying on was a pain in the butt,
and
I thought.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to do it
because I was
that way.
doing DPNs, and so I would have to put it on a circular. I mean, you could use scrap yarn, but I didn't have a tapestry needle small enough to go through my stitches to put it on waste yarn.
Yeah.
So I just put it on a circular needle each time, and it was a pain.
Yeah.
Because you would have it on your foot for 2 seconds, and then you would have to put all your stitches back on. And for me, that was just annoying, but I did it.
Yeah. So I was kind of wanting to avoid that, because I figured that's kind of the way it was working out. So I wanted to get a sock gauge. I wanted to get some self-striping yarn for socks. I wanted to get some spinning fiber. And I think that was pretty much
I think that's what you told me.
So,
and you did pretty good too.
I did pretty good on mine. So one thing that I did want to get, and I'll go ahead and pull it out. Leon Alexander yarns. Let me pull this out so it's not. I'm sorry for the crinkling, guys.
I actually love that sound. It's probably annoying for people watching, but I love that crinkle plastic sound.
So he dyed up some bats. This is the special Texas colorway that he was talking about, special for the DFW Fiber Fest. He had skeins of yarn in this color as well. But it's got sparkles in it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but there are like iridescent-y strands
there.
Yeah. It's really pretty. I think that was the first thing you bought.
It was the first thing that I bought, because he only had, a very limited number of bats.
He said he was going to have 10?
I think it was 10. He only had a very limited number of bats, and I've been messaging him now for weeks. Like, as soon as I saw he was doing these bats, I said, oh my god, I want one. I am so concerned that, because for some reason I was thinking they opened the vendor hall on Thursday as well, and we weren't getting there till Friday, but that's not the case. They were just setting up the vendor hall Thursday. So we were able to come in like not too long after they opened, and I was able to get my goodies.
Yeah.
So this was like the very first thing that I did was went to find him so I could get this batting, because I needed it.
Pretty.
I needed it. So I've got some spinning fiber to play with. It is 4 ounces of 100% superwash merino and Angelina, it looks like, which is going to be that tinsel. But this is their DFW 2018 exclusive. Under Texas Skies is the name. So I'll put that back in a bit.
And he did have some without the sparkle tinsel.
He did have some without the sparkle tinsel.
But why not get sparkle tinsel if you have it?
Sparkles.
Right?
So, anyway, so that was my first purchase, actually.
Okay, now, as Gal mentioned, I finished 1 sock. I'll show it to you next time. Maybe I'll have 2 by then.
Yes.
I haven't cast on the second one yet. But they had a lot of pretty self-striping sock yarn. It was really hard to decide. But we went to this, I think it's mustache yarn, which I think is adorable. See, like a mustache. You probably can't see it, but yeah, mustache yarn. And I think all their yarn was self-striping sock yarn.
I think so.
They had a very big booth, and they had samples of everything knit up, so you could see, which I found very, very helpful, because there was one I liked, and then when I saw it knit up, I was like, that's too masculine. But I got this one, and it's so pretty. It is called
Koi Pond.
Koi Pond. Yes. And I just noticed their little, the back of their, yeah, their back of their tag says stash in good health. But yeah, it's these beautiful orange and blue, and I love the peach color that's in it. And when it's knit up, it stripes, but it also has a bit of a color gradient in each stripe. So yeah, that's the self-striping yarn I picked out. Again, it was so hard to choose. There were so many.
So overwhelming.
But after looking at all the booths, I knew I wanted to buy from this seller because the girl that was helping us was really, really nice. She was so sweet, and you know, I had a couple questions about some of their samples they had, and she was really nice. And I just liked their name, and they had so many beautiful things.
Yeah.
So, and I bought this yesterday too. So yeah.
Oh yeah, you did buy that yesterday.
And they are on the label. It said this is not one skein. It's actually 2 matching skeins.
Oh, smart.
That are just twisted together, so your socks will be knit exactly the same.
So you don't have to figure out where to start. That's smart.
You just start where they already have it.
Mustache yarns. What's the ratio, the makeup?
It is 75 merino, 25 nylon.
Awesome.
Which I think nylon, it seems like I've heard nylon is kind of good for socks. It makes them a little more durable.
More resilient.
So, yeah. Pretty. Pretty stuff.
Well, I guess it's my turn.
It is your turn. I know. It's like, what do we talk about?
So, I'm just going to throw these out here. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that yet.
Okay.
Not going to do that yet.
You saving the best for last?
I'm saving the best for last. So, I did buy a sock ruler, y'all. Yeah. Pretty.
Not exciting, but necessary
generic.
and useful.
Exactly. So, mine.
Yeah. I'll show you just a cute little thing. I'm going to take it out of the plastic so you can see it better. Which I didn't really need a stitch marker because they did a stitch marker swap.
Which we participated in. We found out about it just a couple days before.
And it was really fun. You just got like a big button that said you were a swapper. A very big button. And yeah, there were booths that were participating, as well as just guests that were there, like Gal and I. Anybody could participate. It was free. And you would just swap stitch markers. They could be handmade, which most of them were. Or you could buy them to swap, and if you saw somebody with a button or a booth that said,
we swap stitch markers, yeah,
then you just swap them out. So I actually got a whole little bag. I won't show them all to you, but I got quite a few.
Yeah.
So I didn't really need another one. However, I bought one. And this is, I got it from Whimzee Stitches Designs, and he was sweet guy. But it's this cat.
Grumpy face cat.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. It's like hard plastic or enamel or something. And it's so cute. And he kind of has a grumpy face, and they also had one that was like this pretty, like white Persian looking cat. I was like, no, I want this like grumpy, like alley cat, or as I call them, garbage cats. I want this funny one. So yeah, I got that one. He had a lot of cute stitch markers. He had like some Doctor Who TARDIS ones and some other cat ones and stuff. So that was a fun little, just a little extra to make me smile. Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and show this because I, signed up for that class, and as part of my entry fee, they gave me this excellent bag.
It's really awesome.
This really cool, like, sturdy bag that has, like, pockets everywhere, and I bought some new flair. I don't know if you can see it. So the stitch marker that she just got, that Kitten just showed you, I got the rainbow enamel pin from him. The middle is from Leon Alexander Yarns. And this last one is the one that Logan and I were talking about earlier, the Nevertheless She Knitted, which is a play on Nevertheless She Persisted, which I'm not going to go into that. If you know Nevertheless She Persisted,
you know what
Nevertheless She Knitted is.
Right.
So.
And since we're on the topic of enamel pins, I bought one as well. And it is Nerdbird Makery, nerdbirdmakery.com. It's the same company that did the Nevertheless She Knitted. And it's this cute little girl. I have no idea if that's showing up. I don't know. But she has kind of a crown of balls of yarn around her head, and then some, oh my gosh, knitting needles.
Oh, knitting needles.
I forgot what knitting needles were called, guys. And then like birds and flowers, but I just thought she was really cute. So I have a bit of an enamel pin collection, but I only have like one knitting or crafting related one. So I really liked her. I thought she was sweet.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of do two birds with one stone here and show you. I promised my mother, she's gotten into felting. I got her some fiber to felt with. It's just merino roving that is multiple colors. So I got this for my mom. But I also got this. It is 4 ounces of merino yak and silk. I don't know if you can see that, guys. But it feels like heaven.
It's really soft
to touch. So I'm gonna get this to spin with and to dye. I think I'm gonna try to do spinning and then dye it after I've spun it, for reasons. So I just feel like it would be an easier process for me to deal with than to try to keep my colors straight, doing like the Navajo plying and stuff like that. So anyway, so we're gonna try this stuff out.
It was really nice because they just had the big bins where you could feel it all. Because I don't, you know, spin or anything, but I really like feeling it and feeling the difference between them and everything.
Yeah.
At the same booth, I got the Making magazine. These are just a couple little things. I'll show them together. I got these really cool scissors.
They're like huge handled.
Yeah, they're really like, you know, there's my fingers. And they're very, very sharp. She warned me. I love them. They just look kind of old-timey, and they're kind of, I don't know, blackish, like pewter colored. I don't know. I just really like them. So I was really excited about those. And then I got this cute little, it looks like a hair clip to me, but I think you can use it as either one because it says it's a shawl pin. I'll take it out of the plastic. But I actually saw somebody at a booth that had a silver one. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And so she told me where she got it from. But it's this little, I got the rose gold. I was going to get the silver, but they were out today. Little cat.
Hold it up to your hair. There you go.
Yeah, there. Now you can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really cute. I haven't worn any of my shawls really yet. But if I do, I will have this where I can put it in my hair.
There you are.
Yeah, that is cute.
So I have a thing where I like to collect mugs. And I found this one that said, I am the god of knits and wine. They also had ones that said goddess, which I would have preferred, but I loved the black and purple like bleeding mug. And so I bought this first day. We had walked away from that booth and I was kind of thinking, do I buy it? Do I not buy it? Do I buy it? Do I not buy it? And towards the end of the day, I said, oh, I think I do want that. So we went back to the booth and it wasn't where it was previously. And I was kind of a little heartbroken that it wasn't there.
I don't think they had the goddess one either anymore.
They had one.
Oh, okay.
I think they had one. I don't know. But the color of this one just really appealed to me. So I think it was you actually found it. That it had moved like to an entirely different section of the booth. And as soon as she found it, I was like, yes, that's mine, because I was heartbroken that I couldn't find it. And then whenever she found it, I was just absolutely over the moon. So I was like, it's a sign. It's meant to be mine. I am taking this now.
Did we get a card by who that was by? It was a gentleman that was working the booth, and he had
Pawley Studios.
Oh, okay.
Pawley Studios, I think, is who that's by. P-A-W. Excuse me. L-E-Y.
Yeah, and he had yarn bowls and stuff too.
Yeah. So I got this, and then where she got her that pin that she just showed you, the shawl pin, I got this fun little sheepy infinity scarf. Yeah, it's cute. So I enjoy it.
And I'm glad you got the pink.
Yeah. I'm not typically a pink girl. Purple is my pink.
Yeah.
Purple is my girl color.
But this is kind of a rosy pink, so I think it's not like a
dusty
baby
rose. So I can deal with it.
It looks good.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I guess we'll go more into yarn because that's all I have left is my yarn. So, another thing I can check off my list is the lace yarn. I found some lace yarn. I want to do the featherweight cardigan. And I got this from Round Table Yarns. And it's this beautiful wine burgundy color. And it's lace weight. It's 55% superwash BFL and 45% silk. So it's lovely. I should be able to get one.
I want to hold it for a minute.
I only need one skein for that cardigan.
I'm looking at the drape on this. It's not as drapey as some silks, particularly with it being 50% in lace. I wonder if that's the BFL in it.
I've never knit with it before.
I don't know.
But yeah, so this is another one I kind of scoped out online and really wanted to visit. It's kind of themed. It's, Knights of the Round Table, so they have really fun names and things like that. This one's called, I don't know how to say that.
Agravane? Looks like Agravane.
Oh, that's their base, huh?
Yeah, their base is sold.
Okay. So yeah, and I don't know what Agravane means or is or whatever. But
it's pretty.
It's just really pretty. So I'm going to make the featherweight cardigan out of this, and it's 875 yards. So yeah, another check off my list.
So we stopped at one called Coop Dyeworks. For the color in EWE. And she had these minis. I have no idea what I'm going to do with minis, you guys. So if you have ideas, shoot them my way. But she had these minis that I just fell in love with the colors of. And I must have them. I must have them.
I got one too.
She did get one too.
I just got one, and I was like, really, what am I going to do with one?
So hers has some stellina in it. And I just noticed in this light, this one has stellina in it too. I didn't notice that before. I didn't notice it either. I didn't think it did.
But
yeah, it's a gold stellina, which I think with the peachy orange in here is just very hidden. But yeah, if you guys have ideas, let me know. But they're just so, I buy yarn because they appeal to me, not because I have anything in mind for them. So
yeah, and I only bought one. So I have no idea what to do with one, but I can always buy more minis.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just pretty.
Yeah.
I liked it.
You want to show them anything else?
I have one more thing.
I think I have one more thing too.
And I'm just going to, and it's the thing that I'm most excited about. And I bought today. And what I spent most of my yarn allowance on. So we were at the booth Canon Hand Dyes. Okay. And I looked at her booth yesterday several times, and it's another one I scoped out online. And she has beautiful, very natural, soothing colors mostly. But she had some sample knits like hanging up, and one of them was the Swancho that lots of people are knitting right now. And then I mistook this other piece. It's called the True Friend. Why can't I remember that? True Friend by Vera Valimecki. Probably can't see that. She had a sample of that, and I thought it was just a poncho, so I don't really do ponchos, so I kind of just passed it over. But then Gal pointed it out again, and then when I looked at it again, I saw that it was just a kind of oversized sweater. It had little sleeves, and she had kits for it. And I didn't even really think about it much. I kind of just picked it up and did it. So the body is this.
It's a tweed.
It's called Naked Robert tweed fingering, 85% BFL, 15% nylon. There's 435 yards. So I got 3 skeins. And it's just a natural color tweed with like some brown and tan and black specks. So that's the main body of it. And then you do striping. That's kind of like that. Like it's flat and then goes up. It's not like straight across or up and down. And she had a bunch of these kits with all different color combinations. There were bright ones like rainbow ones, more neutrals, there were pastels. And this is Fall Rainbow is what it's called. So I think she told me that it calls for 5 colors and there's 6 in here. So I think there's like an extra or something like that. So yeah, the striping will be done with these.
Was it? It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, there's 8.
There's like 8, so it was like 7 colors.
Oh yeah, there was like one short of what I would need, so I could just, not use whichever one.
Right. Something along those lines. But this is absolutely gorgeous. I love that.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I didn't realize until now it's called Fall Rainbow, which I like and is very fitting for the colors. So yeah, I'll make this pretty sweater with this. I have no idea how hard the pattern is. I don't know.
It looked like it was fairly simple.
Yeah, she said it was a really fun pattern too. Yeah. So this was my last purchase because after buying all of this and the other stuff, I didn't need to spend anymore. But I'm really excited. I wish I had the needles and everything where I could cast on right now.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring any needles with me. I just brought stuff I was already working on.
I intentionally did not bring needles with me because I didn't want to start on another project when I still had projects to finish. Because I'm still working on Knit Night. I've been working on that a little bit lately. I've been working on the socks, and then I've been working on the What the Fade. So, on that note, on the
Speaking of fades,
so Leon Alexander's booth. You guys have really put my eggs in one basket, which is fine.
It's just what you like.
It is. His colors are so appealing to me.
They're very vibrant.
They're so vibrant. So you remember whenever he was talking about matching hair and So this is his poolside. This is Poolside by Leon Alexander, and I saw it yesterday. Actually, I've been scoping this yarn out since he posted it on Instagram.
She's been talking about it for a bit.
And I've been scoping it for a while, and it was there in his booth, and I was waffling back and forth because I'm trying to get better about not just buying yarn. I want to do better at having something to do with my yarn. So it's a work in progress for me. But I bought this, and I was thinking about pairing it with this guy to do a fade. This was the Bollywood by Hedgehog Fibres. I was thinking about pairing it this way, but Logan pointed out to me his yarn has a lot more white in it, and this does not. And so he was a little concerned that the colors wouldn't match too well since this is more of a solid and this is not. And fair point, I probably could have made it work. He didn't have to twist my arm too hard to buy more of his yarns, though. So that's exactly what I did.
Well, you were going to already buy one more.
I was already going to buy one more. And so Kitten bought me this. This is from his Inspirations. Oh, let me go back to Poolside. So Poolside is from his Inspirations collection. It's his Countess fingering. Its fiber content is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And this is Poolside. This is also from his Inspirations collection, and this is Fuego. So it's got some greens, some reds, a little bit of pink where the red is like faded some bit. I'm sorry guys, I'm not paying attention. Orange, yellows, I mean there's all different colors in here. So that's where we are. And I decided, whenever I decided to get this, that I was going to work on the Find Your Fade by Andrea Mowry, because since I like all the colors, I find her fades to be very forgiving to that. And so I'm just kind of going with the trend and doing the fade thing because it makes me happy. Makes me happy. So I went back to his booth and I bought more colors. I bought all the colors, you guys. Not all the colors because he has a lot
of colors.
He's got a lot of colors. So, and I don't remember exactly how we had...
we took a picture of how we...
were going to do the fade because I trust Logan's eye and I'm going to do the fade based off of his
suggestion.
But we'll go through real quick the rest of the colors on these. So this is from the Ahoy Matey collection. His like pirate collection basically, and it's called Shiver Me Timbers. And it's like purple and blue and orange. So I've got an orange thing going throughout this whole thing, which makes me excited that I'm using a different color branching out because I don't typically do orange. So I'm excited to kind of get this rolling. We'll see when it happens. I think I might actually do this one before I do baubles.
Oh, yeah.
Because baubles is a little intimidating to me as well. So I think I might do this one first. So there's that one. And then there is from the Take Me to Bollywood, the Sanctuary. And this is another one that I had been eyeing for a while because I love that bright green. But there again, we have the orange and the yellow speckled through it, as well as the pop of pink up here at the top. Lots of colors, you guys. And then finally, we have the Take Me to Bali collection again. This is Sari, S-A-R-I. So there again, you've got the pop of orange and some green and some pink and a little bit of red. I was really attracted to that like red and blue combo. So, oh, and there's purple in this one. Ha!
There's purple in another one too. That one had purple up
there. Yeah. So all the colors, you guys, like a rainbow of colors, which I love. So, you know, I know we've talked about it before, but Kitten and I have very different color choices.
As I'm sure you could see. I'm very much the more neutral dark tones. Yeah.
And I like my pops of color. So, so I'm excited about this. I'm excited. I'm so excited. So those are our purchases. We told you guys it was going to be a haul. It was a haul. It was wonderful. We had so much fun. If you guys get an opportunity to come to Dallas Fiber Fest, I highly recommend it. It wasn't overcrowded, which was nice.
I thought it was going to be crazy today, being Saturday.
I did too.
And it wasn't nearly as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
No, and I think part of it had to do with yesterday was 80 degrees here, and today it is 36.
It's really cold.
It got 44 degrees colder overnight.
It was so nice yesterday. Like, I had on a really lightweight cardigan, and I was hot.
Yeah.
And then I had on a jacket and everything today, and it was cold. It's so cold today.
Yeah. So, you know, winter's hanging on for a little longer.
Maybe people didn't want to come out. And plus, it was like rainy, misty this morning.
And anyway, so all that to say, come out, have fun. We would do it again. We are planning on doing it again next year, so we'll have to.
We've learned a lot of stuff. We weren't very prepared this time, but we also didn't know really what to expect, so we didn't know what to prepare for because some of the things that were offered here at Fiberfest weren't
on their website
well advertised.
Yeah.
So we'll know a lot better what it's like, and we'll definitely bring more stitch markers to swap.
Yes.
And yeah, I think we'll just have a better idea of what to do.
So check out their Ravelry page if you are considering going next year to the Fiberfest. Make sure to check out their Ravelry page because that seems to be where they make most of their announcements about upcoming events.
And I would not have thought to. I mean, I
would have thought it would have been all their website,
but I would not. Yeah, I just kept checking their website for things, not their Ravelry page. So we know that now.
We know that better. And make sure to check out LeonAlexanderYarns.com because he was super sweet. Logan was super sweet about coming on to talk today, and he was super sweet in talking about his yarns with us, and he was just wonderful to get to know. Wonderful to get to know.
And we hope next year we can maybe interview some more indie dyers.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Everybody's really cool in the knitting community, so I can't see them not totally being willing. We met a lot of nice people, so it was really... I'm not surprised, though, because every knitter I've met is always super awesome.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you so much. Remember to give us a like if you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We love to see you guys come back. Pretty please. If you have any questions, comments, make sure to write them below. We love to respond to them. Yep. Follow us on Instagram, Ravelry, and Twitter, that other one that we forget. We do have a new Twitter account. We decided to do a new Twitter account. So it is Kitten Knittin.
I believe so.
It's so bad.
Isn't that bad?
So it's GAKKNITTIN. So Gallon Kitten Knittin. So KNIT. So there's two K's. We'll put it.
Yeah, we'll put it
right here.
Yeah. So we do have our individual ones, and then we also have the podcast specific one.
The place to follow us really is going to be our Instagrams. That's where we're mostly active on.
Right.
But definitely follow us anywhere that you want to. Or make sure to go to our Ravelry group, because we are doing the sock cowl right now. We hope that you guys will join in with us. We would love to see what you're working on. And
I think that's it.
I think that wraps us up.
Well, thanks again, and happy knitting.
Happy knitting.
Bye.